Buongiorno everyone, our brand new merchandise is available now. Head over to themagpiechannel.com to get your hats, hoodies and t-shirts. Support the channel, support the tune and enjoy it.
Yes people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV, and we're going to have to go over it again. I see it everywhere. I'm getting questions from it, from different people. You know, the BBC are asking us to talk about it. And I did my weekly article already for them, right? So they've had enough. Check it out on the BBC website. Go to the Newcastle United's page. You'll see my article, which was done before the Joelinton injury, where I said we need reinforcements. But today, they wanted my feelings on Mourinho, Eddie Howe. A couple of other people have, DR Sports lately have been asking about it. We talked about it on the Saturday Football Show on their YouTube channel. And it's enlightened again today. It's came forward into people's attention once again, just because of just because. It is big news today. Big news this morning was that Jose Mourinho has been sacked by Roma and he's been quickly replaced by De Rossi. So that has led people to suggest that maybe Mourinho could be heading to Newcastle now from Italy. That's what people are saying. They're saying, oh, this is lining up perfect. This is Mourinho's being sacked. He's on his way to Newcastle. It's the winter break. There's no games. All the Saudis are acting. He must be on his way to Tyneside. No, mate. He's not on his way to Tyneside. He's not on his way to Newcastle, and he's not going to be the next Newcastle United manager in the next couple of weeks. Anyways, is what people are saying online. I'll get into my thoughts, the news, all that sort of stuff, and make sure you're dropping your comments below as well. Give us a subscribe and a thumbs up if you haven't already as well, please. So let's get into the news first of all that broke this morning. Mourinho sacked by Roma, the Italian club he's managed for a couple of years now. Mourinho is a big fan favourite in Roma. There was tears from fans and from himself as he left the training ground today. So they hold him in high regard. They really do. The Roma fans love him. They didn't want him out, but the owners have fancied a change. I don't think the owners really like the image that Mourinho has given them and all the attention he's given them for some wrong reasons. I think Mourinho's had more red cards this season in Serie A than any player, which is it all. He's had about 5 red cards this season as a manager, so mad. That's not a good look for him. I've always loved Mourinho's passion and how involved he gets and his enthusiasm for the game and his mind games and his tactics and everything. I think he's brilliant and very funny and very clever. But that many sendings off in a season, considering we're only in January, isn't the best, and it doesn't show that he's really got his act together, does it, in a sense. But listen, like I said, the Roma fans loved him. He won their first ever European trophy. He brought that back to Roma, so they're always going to love him for that. The club put out nice things about him, thanks for the memories and all that. And it is a reminder that Mourinho is the only manager in history to win all 3 European tournaments. The Champions League, many times with many different clubs, to be fair to him. Europa League and the Conference League with Roma. He also got to the final of the Europa League last year and he lost on penalties to Sevilla, which everybody does. Everyone loses to Sevilla if they're in the final of the Europa League, so that's now to be ashamed of. And he was sitting in 9th, and that's the reason he got sacked. 9th place. I think one win in 5 or 6 or something. It wasn't looking too good. But again, he was only 4 or 5 points off the Champions League places in Italy, so a couple of wins turns that around. Bit hasty for me, I think, the owners on this one, but I think they're obviously wanting to go with a younger approach. They've given it to De Rossi, like I said, to be their manager. It might only be till the end of the season, but if he does well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thing, give him it for longer. So they've obviously went in a different direction. That's up to them. But the fans weren't happy. Like I said, the fans were emotional. They were crying, the Italians. Mourinho leaving, he was crying when he was going at the chows. The final dagger to Mourinho's coffin in Italy was the loss to Lazio. They did get beat off their rivals in the Cup last week, so that was the final straw for these owners and they decided to give him the sack. And that was after Mourinho showed his loyalty to Roma in the summer. Mourinho came out and said that he had the craziest offer ever to manage somebody else last summer, but he turned it down to stay in Italy. No doubt that was probably an offer to go to Saudi on millions and billions of pounds. Although he's been lined up to international jobs before as well. I could see him at England. Maybe he's going to replace Southgate when Southgate leaves in the summer. Southgate will know it's his final chance at England. He's leaving after this summer's Euros. So it's going to be a case of who comes in for him. And if you go for an experienced manager like Mourinho, we could see that happen. It would be a crazy one. And that would be a complete opposite approach by the FA from a young-ish Englishman to Mourinho. Because the question marks over Mourinho, right? You can't doubt Mourinho's credibility in his CV. One of the best ever. Champions Leagues, trebles, different countries, leagues, cups. He's won everything. He has won everything at different clubs, apart from Spurs, but nobody could do that. So you can't question his CV. You can't question his winning mentality. You can't question his medals and his accomplishments and everything else. But now he's 60 years old. Is this the Mourinho of those Chelsea, Porto days, even Inter Milan, even Man United? He got hounded out, but he was second and still won trophies. They wouldn't mind a bit of that now, I don't think. So look at how it's went for them since he left. Obviously, like we said, Tottenham, the thing that sticks in memories is Tottenham, and then obviously now at Roma. So Mourinho at 60, what we're getting? Is he on the decline? Is he like what Arsene Wenger was? Only one way and that's down. I suppose when you've set such high expectations and you've won that many things, it's hard not to be looking down instead of looking up. But I don't know, Mourinho's a really interesting one, and you've even got certain Chelsea fans calling for him to return. Imagine that. So he is linked with a return to Stamford Bridge as well. I know a lot of Chelsea people, Louis Beneventi, big him up from the Chelsea Echo. He's saying, bring him home, bring him back. Loads of Chelsea fans on Twitter saying the same, want to see their return of their Messiah. That would be really interesting, because obviously Pochettino's under a lot of pressure. He's really struggling, flopping big time, to be honest, after £1 billion spent at Chelsea. Mourinho back at Chelsea, that would be interesting. It would be box office, and that's the thing about him coming to Newcastle as well. It would be box office, it would be entertaining. But at the same time, it's like, what Mourinho we're getting here? Are we getting, the 2012, 2015 Mourinho? Are we getting, is there a new Mourinho now? 60 years and older? Has he still got it? Has he still got it is the big question. Or is he losing it with all these red cards? So it's an interesting one. I'd love to see him back in the Premier League. I've always said I would love to see him at Newcastle United. That romantic element of obviously Sir Bobby Robson's relationship with him in the past. He was his translator at Barcelona. Every time Jose came to St James's Park, he paid respect to his statue, and he's only ever won once, and that was the recent time with Spurs. All them times in the past he came with Chelsea and Manchester United and everyone else, he couldn't win at St James's, and it was that thing of too much respect for Sir Bobby. Didn't want to win at his home, but he did eventually with his last game for Spurs. But that kind of element makes you think, imagine if Jose won a trophy at Newcastle and he was the one to do it. He did what Bobby couldn't, and he pays it as a tribute to him and all that. But at the same time, I'm more than happy with Eddie Howe. I'm telling you, I'm not having Mourinho now over Eddie Howe. If we came back in the summer and this season was a disaster and we finished close to relegation, even then I'd be tempted to give Eddie Howe another year of a fully fit squad. So I think, for me, long term, could you see Mourinho come in? Maybe with the owners. This is the thing we've got to look at as well. Saudi Arabia, how are those feeling? We know Amanda Staveley, Gudusi, everyone here loves Eddie Howe, backs him to the hills. But are Saudi Arabia looking at no Champions League now, knocked out the Carabao Cup, sitting in 10th? Are they happy with that? How long will they give Eddie Howe? Personally, I hope and I think that they will give him a bit time left, and I want them to back him in the window, which they would if it wasn't for FFP. But he needs new signings in January. He needs help with all these injuries, and this season is in chance of just completely slipping away from us. It's a massive month of February for me, for Eddie Howe. Not so much January in terms of signings, but January in terms of results. Got to beat Fulham, yes, FA Cup. But now we've got Villa left in the league. We've already lost to City and Liverpool. Meh. February is the time where we've got to pick our Premier League form up. We've got some really big winnable games in February. The likes of Luton and Bournemouth and that at home. Forest and stuff as well away. So got to be winning them games. But Eddie Howe has got credit in the bank from last year. He's got time on his side. I don't think Mourinho's going to come in this winter break like reports are suggesting. I don't think he'll even come in anytime soon. I think it would take a disaster for them owners to turn on Eddie Howe. They'll give him at least till the summer window and then next season. I tell you what, if this time next year we're still sitting in 10th and we're knocked out of cups and things weren't working out and Mourinho had been sacked a year today and this was the procedure, then maybe you would look and think, there's a chance. But for me, I've had people messaging me and that, I can't say. I don't think Jose Mourinho is coming to Newcastle anytime soon. Interestingly, Bruno Guimaraes did a piece today for This Is Football and Joe Linton as well, and he was saying, Eddie Howe's fantastic and he will manage England. So let's hope that's further down the line as well. Could that be next summer? Do you mean, like I said, Southgate is leaving. England need a new manager. How he's been tipped in the past, Bruno thinks he will manage England. So who knows the twists and turns that could take with football and management and everything else. Like I said, with England, Eddie Howe, he could be tipped for them. Bruno's saying that, I think, because I think ultimately Eddie Howe will want to manage England one day. But I think that will be long down the line. I think you'll want to stay at Newcastle for 5 to 10 years, do the thing that nobody else has done for so long, win that trophy, keep building his own team, build a bit of a legacy like, you know, the Klopp or a Pep has at City, and then maybe leave for the England job. Because what is Howe, 44, 46, something like that? Like, I think, I know Southgate's young, but I think Howe would probably look towards international management later on in his career. For me, he really loves that day-to-day, doesn't he? Gets in the training ground first thing, last to leave. So Bruno is saying nice things about Howe because he has transformed his career as well, kicked him on, and he's saying he will manage England one day. I could see that, but that'll be down the line. And the same with Mourinho potentially managing Newcastle. But that return to Chelsea, to be fair, looks more likely because I would say Pochettino, their owners, might be a bit more trigger happy. Told love affair of bringing Mourinho back for what will be his third time at Chelsea, would it? Mad. But Mourinho at Newcastle, no, not having it. Eddie Howe is safe. Eddie Howe's the Toons manager, and I'm backing him all the way. Let me know how you feel in the comments below, people. Would you take Jose at Newcastle? When will, if he will, Eddie Howe become 3 Lions boss? Loads more to talk about as well, and more videos coming out this week. Daily uploads, so make sure to subscribe, give it a like, and I'll see you on the next one.